It all started last October. Hoops players working out. Practice then begins, and the goal is to win the conference title. That goal became a reality for one men's and one women's team this week. I'm Glen Dehmer, and this is Inside the Sun Belt. So it's off to Hot Springs, Arkansas, and we start with the men and go right to the semifinals. First game had top-seeded Middle Tennessee taking on fourth-seeded FIU. The Panthers' Ivan Jurkovic threw one down in the opening 30 seconds, and the challenge was on. FIU played great defense and led 33-24 at intermission. Early in the second half, the Blue Raiders went on a 10-2 run, and the three-pointer by Kerry Hammonds made it a three-point game. But FIU did not flinch. Cameron Bell scored 8 of the next 10 points for the Panthers, and they were back on top by 7. Late in the game now, Middle Tennessee closed to within 2, but Derek Hill made a layup, and FIU upsets the top seed and moves on to the championship game. 61-57 the final. Hill had 16 points, 6 assists, and 4 steals to lead the way. The other semifinal, 6th-seeded Western Kentucky took on 2nd-seeded Arkansas State. Close game throughout the first half, with the Hilltoppers taking a 2-point halftime lead. Second half, WKU jumped out to a 7-point lead, but the Red Wolves claw their way back. They used an 18-9 run as Cameron Golden nails a 3-ball to take a 53-51 lead with 4 minutes to play. The lead was 3 with a minute to go when Jamal Crook made a jumper, and then came the crucial play of the game, TJ Price the steal and the layup. Now the Hilltoppers were out front. Arkansas State had a last shot to tie or take a 3 and lead, but Golden could not convert, and Western Kentucky wins 58-56. Price led the way with 24 points, 7 rebounds, and a pair of steals. So the 6th-seeded Hilltoppers took on the Panthers for the right to play in the field of 68. FIU used a 17-2 run early to take a 19-11 lead. But 4 straight three-pointers by WKU got the offense jump-started, and it took a 31-29 halftime lead. The Hilltoppers continued to burn the nets from beyond the arc in the second half and built an 8-point lead. But the scrappy Panthers never let them get away, cutting the margin to 1 point with 8 minutes to go. Western Kentucky answered that challenge as George Fent got a bucket, and moments later Brandon Harris came down and buried the three-pointer. It was now 57-50 WKU. The Hilltoppers hung on from there.
Western Kentucky, the Sun Belt Conference Tournament champs.
The final 65-63, Fant had 17 points, 13 rebounds as WKU wins its 2nd straight Sun Belt title.
One of my big things with kids is opportunities. You know, they don't come along very often in life. And when it does come along, are you going to be prepared for it? And the only way you can be prepared for it is through hard work. We had an opportunity tonight, and we went out and we seized it, and we took advantage of that opportunity.
In women's play, the seedings held a bit more true to form. The top 3 all advanced to the semifinals, along with 5th-seeded FIU. In the first semifinal, top-seeded Middle Tennessee played FIU. That means the Blue Raiders had to find a way to slow down the country's leading scorer, Erica Coley. Easier said than done. Coley had 13 at halftime, and the Panthers led 30-24. FIU pushed the lead to 10 in the first 5 minutes of the second half, but that's when the Blue Raiders went to work. Ebony Rose scored with just about 8 minutes to play. They had their first lead of the day. With 3:13 to play, Coley scored to make it 60-59, but the Blue Raiders still led, and that's as close as FIU would get. Middle Tennessee scored the last 8 points of the game and wins 68-59. Courtney Jones, 26 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds in the win. Other semifinal, 2nd-seeded UALR taking on 3rd-seeded Western Kentucky. A 10-0 run by the Trojans early in the game put them up 14-7. At halftime, they led 37-25. Then UALR broke the game wide open to start the second half. A 15-0 run in the first 3.5 minutes made the score 52-25, and that essentially put this one away. The Trojans cruised from that point on and win 74-54. Taylor Galt led the way with 18 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. She also had 2 steals and 2 blocks. That set up the championship game between the top 2 seeds. Middle Tennessee scored the first 8 points of the game, but UALR gathered itself, and when the first 20 minutes were complete, the Trojans led 26-25. 8 minutes into the second half, it looks like UALR would run its win streak to 14 as it took a 7-point lead. But Ebony Rowe was not about to let the championship game slip away. She scored 10 points in the final 12 minutes, including 8 free throws without a miss. Middle Tennessee wins the Sun Belt title 53-48 over UALR. Rowe scored 20 points and pulled down 13 rebounds. The Blue Raiders claim the conference automatic berth to the NCAA tournament.
It feels a lot better to know you're going to watch it and your name's going to get called, without a doubt. You know, last year we were on pins and needles like, oh, that's not us, that's not us. But this year, we know our name will pop up.
Selection day for the men's tournament is this Sunday, March 17th, and for the women, it's Monday, March 18th. And then the real madness gets underway. And that's your look inside the Sun Belt. I'm Glen Dehmer.